For now, it is Monday, well, Sunday. I didn't want to already jumping into Monday here. Sunday night, December 10th, 2023. It is about 8:32 p.m. here, California time. Make sure I got the bells off, which I do. Latest activity, let's check it out here on the globe. Still seeing some movement up here just south of Iceland along the North Atlantic plate boundary. Let's see where the green flag is, though. It's got to be somewhere out here. It's buried. 2.6, it looks like, here across areas of Turkey, it looks like. So on the flat scale model Earth, there is some of the movement striking out here around the Bight fracture zone once again. This area definitely of interest. Seen quite a bit of earthquake activity here recently, and more so in the last couple days. We got a total tally here of about 34 earthquakes. Now this area, of course, is a divergent boundary, basically seafloor separation. There's quite a few fractures out here. Of course, as these plates move and separate away from each other, that gets filled back in with new seafloor. And there's definitely been a pretty good amount of earthquake activity around here. That's, goodness, 34 earthquakes. We did see some activity further up north as well. On the Earthquake 3D globe, it shows it, a 4.3 north of Iceland. So all this activity here kind of puts Iceland right in the middle. But I was just looking at the earthquake map here of the last 12 hours of Iceland, and there's only about 21 earthquakes. So there's definitely activity north and south of Iceland, but no adjustment going on here yet. But I'm getting a little bit more concerned when we see that activity stirring up like that. I can't help but wonder if we're going to see an uptick here, potentially across the plate boundary there in Iceland, where we have been seeing quite a bit of interesting activity there, you know, with the volcanic potential activity across Grindavik and northward. Look at the past 12 hours of earthquake activity here. Well, it's still diminished. Not anything new to report across this area, and the Icelandic Met Office here, the meteorological office, has not put up an update in 4 days. So I'm hoping tomorrow we'll see that, but I don't think they have anything new to report unless we see some uptick overnight following this divergent boundary activity north and south here of Iceland. All right, taking a look across the Pacific here, we got a one little earthquake, 5-pointer coming in around the Banda Sea, about 57 kilometers deep. Still seeing a handful of earthquakes up here across the Philippines in the Philippine Trench here. The last one shows a 4.7 within this zone. But as you can see, activity is dying down, and fortunately, that's good news there for the folks that have been dealing with quite a bit of shaking out there in the last few days, last week or so. Here's the shows last 30 days, but most of the activity stirred up following that large 7.6 that struck here on the 2nd of this month, so about 8 days or so ago. 297 earthquakes of some decent magnitudes, including the main shaker out there. That's a whole lot of shaking going on. Again, for now, things are calming down. We are starting to see a little bit of migration out here, clustering going on in our common areas. And I say common because, well, that's where all the activity tends to crunch up against. A lot of plates colliding here, creating a lot of chaos, so to speak, in terms of plate dynamics. And this is normal activity for this area. Philippines still seeing some threes out here. I notice there's quite a few more earthquakes on the globe than what you see on the map. That is because the USGS, well, I wish they would change it, but they only give the option for international communities as far as viewing earthquakes 4.0 and above. So, yeah, I would love to have the option to click 3.0 or maybe 2.0. It'd be a useful option here on the USGS map, I think. All right, what's going on down here in New Zealand? Anything interesting going on? Haven't heard much from Timothy, so I don't think there's too much shaking going on out there. 3.3 North Island, but that's about it. Not really seeing anything major going on, as far as I can tell, out there on the Earthquake 3D globe. Let's see, South America. Notice South America's really kicked up. I said to watch this area here. I don't know if I said it this morning or last night because of this divergent boundary activity. And we actually seen a little bit more than that one, I think. We've seen one offshore. There's that one. Oh, there's the other one, 4.9 that came in a couple days ago too. So that divergent boundary activity obviously adds further strain and stress up against the subduction zone that Chile, Peru, and South America region sits on. So yeah, definitely seeing quite the clustering going on following that divergent activity. Nothing major, just some 2s and 3s, and it looks like some 4s in there as well. Even a couple 5s. That was this morning though. Oh wait, let's see here. Yeah, that 5-pointer was this morning about 3 o'clock or so. But still kind of keep an eye on it. This region is very capable of some large earthquakes. Did see some interesting movement up here in the middle of the states, well away from the plate boundary, and in fact, this is basically right in the middle of the southern middle of the North American Craton area, which is relatively flat land. You can see it out here. It's relatively stable land over the past few millions of years. We have not seen any, deformation, so to speak. Kind of brushes up against it for the Rocky Mountains and other areas here across the east. But this relatively stable land has not seen a whole lot of warping or, different arrangements for the most part, as far as mountain ranges and stuff like that go. So it's a little odd to see some earthquake activity. That 4.2 struck earlier this afternoon, well, just before noon, my time, near Nebraska, near Guide Rock. I looked out there. I didn't see anything that looks like any type of pumping operations. There's a lot of beautiful farmland out here. A lot of beautiful countryside, I'm sure, but this specific earthquake struck pretty close to these folks' house. Looks like a few farmhouses out there, so I'm sure they felt it. Not for sure if I have them in my chat room or watching this channel. But shortly thereafter, a couple hours later, we've seen some further earthquake movement up north into South Dakota. It's even a little bit more rare to see up here. This earthquake coming in as a 3.0, 8 kilometers deep. Looks like there's some type of creek going on here across the region. I'm not seeing any pumping operations out there. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It gets blended in. I don't think this looks like a farmhouse, if anything. So yeah, I can't really say that's anything to do with any type of pumping operations or oil pumping, fracking operations near the Cabbage Flat. Earthquake activity somewhat rare out here in this area of the country. We did see it kicking up though today. One little earthquake here across the New Madrid seismic zone. That's going to be a little 2.1. Nothing big, but still letting us know that fault system out there is very much alive. Southern California has seen activity back off throughout the day today. Not really seeing a whole lot. In fact, the 2.5 map and above only shows one earthquake way up north here around this little mountain range, Lucia mountain range. Kind of a coastal range fault system, and that was a 2.6. But aside from that, most of the earthquakes out here today, very small microquakes, but we'll continue to watch this overnight. Up here around Portland, got a Mount Hood earthquake coming in, and 1.5. That was earlier this morning. I'm kind of curious to see what the tremor map looks like here tonight. Let's go check it out, see what we have for the Cascadia tremor. That's a huge drop from yesterday where we seen 300 and something. 7. Oh, goodness. So, continues our quiet period of Cascadia tremor. We haven't really seen anything major kick up here since about October of last year. We've seen a couple small events back in April and May of this year, but they were not comparable to years past where we'd seen these intervals of large tremors take place. Seemed like every every 6 months or so, maybe less than that. So we'll continue to keep an eye on things. It's just not a whole lot of, maybe not a whole lot of room down there. Maybe things are pretty well stuck and pressurized out here across this area. As far as the Cascadia subduction zone goes. Get some movement up here north of Pahala. Nothing major. Nothing major changing up here across the Kilauea volcano either. Let's go check out the tilt meter and see if things are still on the rise out here at the summit region of the Kilauea volcano. I'm sure it is. Let's see here. Yeah, pretty sharp rise earlier this afternoon after a very small deflation event. But look at that, right up. See what it looks like here on the 30-day chart. So we're almost matched up to I think this was about last night or so, or yesterday. That's the highest inflation level in about 5 years. So we should still, if trends are, following a same pattern here, we'll watch this go up continually and then possibly a decline. But either way, just kind of watching it. No major changes there across the volcano for now. Just continuing to see some inflation, high inflation levels there across the Kilauea volcano. Space weather activity, and then we're going to go into the members shout outs. Haven't done it in a while, so we do want to recognize our members here on the channel. Looking at a little bit of flaring going on here over the last few hours, but nothing major. If you notice this weird looking snake figure on the sun, those are a couple coronal holes out there. And this more centered one right here is shooting out some high-speed charged solar wind, charged particles. And the direct view of this and the lineup here, basically across the equator here of the sun, puts us in a dead spot of receiving that, well, I shouldn't say dead spot, but a direct shot of receiving that solar wind stream here in a couple days. So we should see things amplify in terms of the aurora forecast as coronal hole number 79 is giving us a little look there. Far as the flaring goes, well, 3513 up here. That's about our only one that has given us any hope. Still got a little potential right here, but this thing's been warping a little bit, morphing into I don't know what, but I was saying it last night that it's starting to decay a little bit. It still looks like it may be starting to just die down, but there's still a little area right here that we may want to keep an eye on. And aside from that, these sunspots are out of sight, out of mind. Still capable of producing some flares, but nothing would be geo-effective if that happens way over there. So we're left with a couple sunspots, but nothing big to watch for now. 99% chance for a C flare, M flare 55. X flare still remains somewhat elevated, around 10% chance. The auroras right now, not a whole lot. Very minimal conditions up there across Canada and Greenland. Maybe Iceland if you're lucky. But we'll watch for some changes here in the forecast. All right, member shout out here real quick. Starting up here at the top. Missy Mimi's, of course, did do some gifting, some Christmas gifting to some of the members out there. Give away some free memberships. Michelle Farmer was one of them, but she's got total time here of 7 months on the channel. I'm not for sure what that second one is. I'm going to skip that. But it looks like a Burger King symbol. John Jerome, Nancy Kozlowski, a longtime member here, rejoined about 6 days ago. Thank you there, Nancy. George Harden, Victoria, Andrew Harmsworth, thanks for checking in. Maria Park, a longtime member on this channel as well, rejoined 13 days ago. One of our channel supporters here, Ruthie Mays, we appreciate you 100% there. Has been on the channel for 7 months. 1 month here as a channel supporter, but we appreciate you 100% there. Astro OD, 18 days, super fan. Sue Ellen, Lucy Maker, someone is a member here, 10 months. Kathy Pike, Donna B, MS Shabiti. I think that was our last member winner, if I remember right, back in November. Timothy, thank you very much for joining. 12 months total time here. ADHD, 1 month. Kathleen, 7 months here. Rejoined about 28 days ago. Helen Horn. Hope and Feathers, 17 months. Long-time members on here. Goodness, over a year and a half. Beth, Trish M, Sharni. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Sorry if I didn't. Patrick Jones. I am Valentina. Greg Bennett. Kay Clark. Rick. Dylan Lockwood. Laura Bonnet, 12 months here. KT. Robert H. Laura Court. Unimportant Entertainment. I know that. 8 months. Jeannie Baker, Angela Willock, Gentile, Bitter Harvest, MST Pear, Kathy Doan, Genevry Freeland, Sacktown Amy, 5 months there, appreciate you. Amanda Little, The Dot Hacker, 6 months. Elizabeth Warman, 8 months. Rob 52, 18 months. Goodness. Albert Sanchez Jr., 18 months as well. Getting into some long-time members here, guys. Jay Fuentes, 18 months as well. Nana, 7 months. Linda L., 9 months. Alan Gressick, 8 months. Matthew Dittman, 9 months. Purple Bullet, thank you very much, 16 months. Craig England, 11 months. Alicia Stanford, 16 months. Clayton, 14 months. Hurricane Heather, 14 months as well. Janice Seiler, Juno James, Mike Moses, Joycelyn Burzik, Catherine Pours Peace, 14 months. Judy Menzel, 15 months. Betty Kelly, Debash Mode, Joelle Kozowski. Now, these are the members, if you look right here, these are the members. They're down on the bottom because these members have been committed 100% and have not missed any months at all. They've been, this shows when they joined. Some people may have rejoined after, a month or so of not being a member. But these members down here are the ones that have been committed the longest here. Pretty crazy. Where'd I leave off? Debash Mode, Joelle Kozowski, Pamela Connolly, Ray Addington. Robert Kozowski is technically the longest member here and the most steady member, so to speak, being a consistent member on the channel. It's pretty crazy. Either way, we appreciate everyone here. We got 70 people right now as members. I'd like to see that go up here for the member drawing that's coming up in about 5 days. So, 5 days. You'll be entered. These members will be entered into a random drawing. We'll do it live, and we'll be giving away some prizes: $50 Visa MasterCard, or if you want a geology mining kit, or a Earthmaster T-shirt. I believe our member last month took the geology mining kit and said it was pretty cool. So hopefully they can put use to that. If you're not a member, join today. Just so you can jump on board here, get invited to some extra videos, extra perks, and all that stuff. And of course, the member drawing that's held every single month. All right, let's see. I know there was some severe weather out there today in portions of the east. Let's see what we got. These are the storm reports. Looks like 4 tornado reports today. Yesterday there was a lot more wind reports. No hail reports, but did see some tornado activity out there. And, of course, that Storm Prediction Center had that area covered, so hopefully everyone took heed to the warnings and whatnot out there. Still a little bit of activity stirring up tonight and maybe a little bit tomorrow, but after that things are clearing out and the severe weather potential has diminished. Looking at long-term models here, this is the storm system heading out tonight. Looks like there might be a little bit of snow behind that. Some colder air coming in with that frontal system. I'm going to put this into motion here, and we see our next system potentially building up into Texas and the Gulf Coast region as we head towards Thursday and Friday of this week. West Coast, including the Pacific Northwest, maybe a little bit, remains dry for the most part. It's not until maybe right there next week, Monday next week, we'll start to see a little pattern change out here, and I'm hoping it holds true. And it's all got to do with a significant Pacific jet out here in the Pacific Ocean. And I'll show you guys here real quick, upper air dynamics, jet stream. That is going to take place roughly, this hasn't even loaded up all the way, has it? I guess it has. Yeah, right about here, looks like the low pressure system starts to form, but we're watching this huge line of of a jet stream. It's a huge one. I've been watching this over the past couple days, and it's strengthening and getting closer and closer here to California, and that could spell some huge storms coming into the West Coast. And of course, the storm system will continue, either depending on what the jet stream will look like here, but it could continue further into the country. I guess I don't know, have these all formed up? I guess they have. Either way, most of the these weather models are showing this pretty strong jet amping up out here across the Pacific. We'll watch that, see how that plays a part here in our weather coming up. It's supposed to be starting to pick up here as far as rainfall goes across California and the West Coast in general. I'm hoping that we get our rainfall. The Pacific Northwest has seen a lot of rainfall. They've gotten a lot. They probably need a little break, right? Yellowstone National Park, I forgot to check this. They did see a little bit of earthquake activity up here in a little spitter spatter event a few hours ago. There's going to be this earthquake activity right there. That activity did show up across numerous seismograph stations there. Those are probably around a 2.0 or below. USGS, pending it's a weekend, will not show anything up here. They'll look at it tomorrow morning when they get in the office and decide on the correct magnitudes and whatnot. But the preliminary data system that's normally put out for any earthquake it's turned off for anything below 2.5. Now, if we have like a 2.7, it'll pop up here, and then maybe a geologist will get to it, seismologist will look at it and go from there. Anyway, folks, I'm jumping off here. Have yourself a good night. Live stream is up and running after a much-needed update. Just had to update all my stuff, and it's a good idea to blow out your computer, too, if you have any of that canned air. It's crazy how much dust a computer will pick up, but I run this thing 24/7, and, it's constantly picking up dust and stuff like that, so I blew it out, and I was surprised at how much dust was in there. I'm glad I did. Anyway, folks, have a good night. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow for the Monday morning update. Take care.